Hello, welcome to the fourth episode of Dbpp. I am joined once again by Trevor. Say hi, Trevor. And and Jesse, who,
Hi guys.
who looks very sleepy today. Uh,
I still blame you, or maybe the whiskey.
I had nothing to do with that. I got there very late into the game. All right, so we're gonna. It's just gonna be the three of us today, and so we're gonna do what we normally do and talk and stuff and things, and you know, pretty much everything.
That's a that's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah. All right. So how do I get this? Okay. Don't mind me. Everyone, how you guys doing today?
Not too bad. Beautiful Sunday.
Take a
Nice
word
in
on it.
Portland weather here. Rainy in Kansas.
Yeah, it's very Portland here as well. Okay. So now that we got all those stupid pleasantries out of the way, let me share the first story. I want to talk about the Oculus Rift stuff. I've been following Oculus for since the Kickstarter, which was I guess 2012 now. Actually, even before that, I was at the E3 where it was. Let's see if I can share this story here. Okay, do you guys see the article here? Okay. Um, so yeah, I've been following
I, s-
Oculus Rift since. Go ahead.
I see
What?
myself.
Yeah,
I
I see
don't see
Jesse's head. It looks like an interesting story. It's live.
that.
Okay, let's try it again. Everyone, just stare at Jesse.
Look, I know I'm pretty, but I mean, I'm not Oculus Rift. That's the problem.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. Now I
Yeah,
got
yeah. This show is starting out fantastically.
it. Well, Google Hangouts is kind of being a bitch today.
Yeah. So anyway, I was at E3 when they announced this. John Carmack took it on stage, and it was at the time just duct tape and basically what looked like ski goggles. But now it's pretty badass. Oculus Rift is officially coming out next year. They haven't set an exact date, but it's going to be Q1, so the first couple of months of 2016. When it comes out, though, it's going to have a lot of competition. There's already Sony's Morpheus, Project Morpheus, Samsung, and HTC both have sets as well, and there are going to be a lot of others. There's probably going to be a Microsoft one, even though they haven't announced it. It's not going to be the same as the HoloLens, which is kind of a different thing, but supposedly Microsoft has been working on their own VR headset for a while. So you guys both play video games and do stuff. You guys interested?
Well, my first reservation is when I go to a movie now that's in 3D, I have glasses because I'm myopic. So 3D pisses me off because I can't really wear it with my glasses too well. So I'm kind of worried about how that's going to translate into this VR system. If I can't see there, will I be able to see on the Oculus Rift? Like, have they mentioned anything about that?
Well, I've like when I go to 3D movies, I wear it and I just put the 3D glasses over my normal glasses, and I've never had a problem with it. So
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
I guess what I'm saying is you're weird.
Oh no, no, it's true.
Uh, so no, I've when I wore the Oculus, I wore my glasses. It's big enough that it goes over your face like here. It's not like this. It places around. At least the model I did, which I tried last, the Crystal Cove, which was their second SDK, and it fits widely over your face. It doesn't like cover just your eyes.
Okay,
So,
that's a good sign.
so yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. Same for the Project Morpheus, Sony's. Like I tried them both, and they were comfortable enough to wear. I didn't have any issue. So in other
Yeah.
words, suck it up.
Other than that, no, I'm excited. I mean, I think it's going to take things to that next level that I could probably actually get scared playing a video game. If I see people standing behind me, it's going to freak me out a little bit. Or to the right of me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the one I played that really got me into it and got me interested was it's called Eve Valkyrie, and it's an online space, or it will be online, but it was more importantly it was a space. Excuse me, a dogfighter. You're in the cockpit of this, just whatever. It's set in the Eve universe, but it's a standalone game where you're on a team of like four in space jets, and you dogfight through like an asteroid field. At the time, we played like a really primitive demo of it, but you have big headsets on, so you can hear your guy with a rebreather on, and that's all you hear, and you occasionally hear like pew pew, these little lasers go by you, but you're fully immersed because you're flying in space, so there are no restrictions on. There's no gravity pushing you down. You can fly in every possible direction. So you're like it's almost too much, but in a really good way. So I thought it was very cool. By the way, this is my coffee mug for this afternoon. You can see the scale.
Your coffee. That's your coffee cauldron.
Yeah.
I think it may have supposed to have been a soup bowl, but you know.
Close enough.
Level up your game.
That's like when I eat cereal and I use like a mixing bowl.
I guess the second fear I have with that Oculus thing is like when you get in there, did you kind of get that sense of vertigo as you were moving around?
I did not. I know other people did, and they have the first model, the first SDK they released. There was a lot of people complaining about that because it gives you just it's disorienting. The new one has the Crystal Cove that I tried. It has little positional sensors on the front that it beams to a camera that goes over your TV. So if you look this way, it tracks which way you're going, and it speeds it up. So it's not. The problem was part of it was seeing that choppiness as you like turned, and that can make you nauseous. But in the new one, it tracks your head, so it has two ways. It has multiple ways of beaming the information to you. So that was their big issue the big upgrade between SDK 1 and 2 was getting rid of that motion vertigo a little bit.
Yeah, and then another kind of weird component since I haven't tried it, that I'd be curious to know is you said you played that game in a cockpit, which in a cockpit you're pretty stationary. You're just looking with your head on a swivel. Yeah. What happens when you play like Modern Warfare or Call of Duty? Like you need to walk forward and backwards. So how does that motion, how do you get that? Just still with your control, but you're just seeing it? Or do you look around corners? Like how do you adapt to a more movable game where you have to run through environments as opposed to sitting down?
I've only tried, I tried Sony's, I've tried a couple of VR demos, and they were all, or at least most of them were something where you're driving or flying. But I did try one for Project Morpheus, where it was like you're walking around. It was a pure demo where you could, it was combined with Sony's Moves, if you remember those, the two little standalone nunchuck-looking things, and you could like physically control the game that way. So the demo was we were in like a castle, and you walk around and you do a bow and arrow by holding the moves, and you release them. So, but you did physically walk up to it, and paired with head tracking, if you're using your thumbstick to control that you're moving forward, and you look this way, the camera will look this way while you still walk this way. So. Okay. You will be able to agree if it only looks around to about this far, I think, and then you get like a warning or something like that. But so yeah, there is head tracking to change where you're looking, and the thumbstick controls where you're going.
Yeah, I can see people getting kind of a weird. They have that thing like when you're a sailor or you're on a ship and you get off and you have the sea legs. I wonder if there's going to be a weird like Oculus Rift version of sea legs where you get done and you forget you have to walk and kind of just.
No, I've seen people that did it and they were just like a little. It took them a second, like.
I'm not working.
Yeah, you broke us, Oculus Rift. So yeah, I don't know. It's all stuff you'll probably be seeing a lot more demos, and I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know about Oculus Rift, but definitely. Project Morpheus, I bet they're going to start doing like in-store demos and stuff like that, Best Buy type things, to give you a chance to try it out.
Well, I'm expecting Dead Pete's to have one by the time I'm in Portland at the end of the month, so you should probably get on that, Ryan.
Well, I could. I just I'd have to buy one for $300, the SDK kit, and I've been waiting for the real one.
Sounds good.
Okay, everyone, let's do a new crowdfunding campaign to get us a new Oculus Rift SDK.
If you cut your coffee consumption in half, you could probably afford one in a month.
Let's not get crazy here. Look at you as you drink coffee.
Yeah, but but in the end, how much is that worth it? Really?
Is what? Oh, giving up coffee? Absolutely
Giving
not.
him coffee to get the to get the Oculus Rift. I'm calling that a lose-lose.
I agree.
So yeah, and there are going to be others coming out as well that are going to be mobile. So like you can maybe on a plane or something, you'll be able to strap it to your face and be like, "Screw all of you," and you go full 3D immersive. So I don't know. Next year is when we'll find out if this is the next thing or just one more accessory that some people like and some don't.
You guys seen Wall-E?
Yeah.
I think is this the first step in becoming those fat people in Wall-E that only talk to each other through virtual reality?
I think this is probably like the 9th step. Yeah, we're way past that first step.
And the fact that Facebook bought the Oculus Rift, it's like, oh, that is where social is going to go. It's like more of a virtual experience all around.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of always inevitable, I think. But, like, I know a lot of people gave Oculus a ton of shit for partnering and being acquired by Facebook. Because when Oculus came out, it was this totally independent thing. It was crowdfunded, so it was of the people for the people, and that was cool. It was great, but at the same time, Oculus it's not the first company to do headset VR, but it was the one that reignited it. So it was operating in a vacuum for a while, and everybody was heaping love on it, and rightly so. And then all of a sudden, Sony was like, "Yeah, we also have this thing, and we also have a $40 billion advertising budget." And Oculus is like, "Well, we have a lot of fans." So at the time, compare it, Oculus Rift had it would have been about 2 years worth of funding, and it had something around 91 million it had raised, which 91 million is great, but when you're going up against Sony and eventually Samsung and HTC, that's $90 million is not going to get you very far, especially when probably 80 to 90% of that is R&D and development, and then actual manufacturing. So if Oculus had not partnered with Facebook or someone else like that, they would have gotten just eaten up quickly.
Right, that's kind of how that works in this tech industry. Is the little guy started and the big guy grabs it and runs with it. So it's money talks, and that's that.
Do you guys watch Silicon Valley TV show?
I haven't. Is it good?
Yeah, it's great. Silicon Valley it's a Mike Judge comedy, so it's also very socially aware, and it's become more about it's a real satire of Silicon Valley, and without spoiling it, Trevor, without spoiling it, yeah, we haven't spoiled anything for Trevor yet today, so without spoiling it, it's about these guys that create this new software application, and instantly everyone tries to steal it, and they try and create their own. So that's kind of that's the way it works.
What was the other one? It's not Silicon Valley, but it was put out by maybe Netflix or Amazon or somebody.
Oh, betas on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that was a great one too.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know why they didn't renew it. It only had one season.
Kind of a bummer.
Yeah. If you like betas, you'd love Silicon Valley, though.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Okay, so Oculus will come out next year. Morpheus is coming out. Well, it's not the official name, but whatever it comes up with. It'll be the first half of next year. So I'm assuming every other company will try and aim for that window as well. At the very least, everything will come out 2016. They haven't named a price on Oculus Rift. The SDKs are both. The new one is 300. The previous one, I want to say it was 300. Maybe it's 350. Unless you supported it on the crowdfunding, and then that was part of the one of the things you got. So I don't know. I think we'll probably end up seeing a retail model, maybe 200, 250. That's my guess.
Man.
So okay, moving on. I really want to talk about this. Let me share my screen again. Screen share, and Jesse's face. Okay. Okay, so are you guys seeing the Avengers?
Yes.
Sorry, this is technically it's not the Avengers. It's Captain America: Civil War, even though it might as well be the next Avengers. they announced the official cast list so far. There are at least there's at least one more major role that they haven't announced. We'll get to that in a sec, and then there are probably some other smaller ones, maybe even a few cameos. But at the moment, there are 12 Avengers, not counting the bad guys and the other various Marvel characters. 12 characters that in the comics have been Avengers that will be in Captain America: Civil War. In Avengers: Age of Ultron, I think there were 8, maybe 7. So, what do you guys think? Is this too much for presumably 2.5 hour movie? Should they break it into 2? And is it even a Captain America movie at this point?
Well, no, it's obviously not a Captain America movie anymore. It's essentially Avengers 3, but um, I mean, they've introduced all the characters, so they have to get them in there. But yeah, you start to wonder. I mean, especially like, there was talk about, why did Loki get cut out of Age of Ultron, and so at a certain point you start running out of screen time for everybody.
Should we
Unless you want to make a 4-hour movie.
Should we spoil everything about Loki and Age of Avengers, like where he went in, what the scene was? Hey, Trevor. So anyway,
No,
Hey, I've got
I
good
still
news.
haven't seen
I
it.
went and saw it. So
oh, you
I
did see it, right
for
on.
Jesse now.
Oh, Jesse hasn't seen it. All right, so Jesse, here's what happens.
Yeah, because Kyla's been so sick, pregnancy sick, so we haven't gotten to go to any movies yet, or like in the last 3 months.
Sounds like an excuse.
Yeah, I went last night just so you guys couldn't ruin it for me. So I'm being pre-active.
Now, yeah. Now you're proactively making sure we can't spoil anything.
That's right.
So how about that last scene, huh? Let's talk in detail. So I don't even know if I would call Captain America an Avengers movie. I'd call it something like Marvel Presents or something like that.
Marvel presents Civil War.
Well, I mean, it pretty much is. It's not really Captain America anymore at this point. It's way beyond that, and it's not even really Avengers because it's not focused on the team of the Avengers.
Well, and so correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I actually read the comic book versions, but Civil War, Infinity Crisis, Infinity Wars, like the Gauntlet, all of those came out as like a small, maybe 6-issue series, but then they crossed over into everything in the universe. Like,
Yeah,
that was what I remember blowing my mind as a little kid. Like, whoa, they're all touching each other. It's crazy. It was fantastic.
Yeah, this one, the comics were the same. Civil War was, I don't remember what it was. I want to say 6 or 8 issues. I could be wrong, but there was a Civil War, an actual line for a short time, but every other comic had Civil War tie-ins.
Right. It seemed like Captain America was it was him versus Iron Man, kind of, is the split between the team, and that's the main point. So you could kind of say it was still Captain America driven as the main protagonist in that side of the fence, but yeah, there's just so many people. It's pretty big.
So here is, let me share the screen again, and we'll go over the cast list real quick. It's pretty crazy. And okay, so you have Captain America, of course. The big ones: Captain America, Iron Man. You'll have returning from the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Winter Soldier himself, Bucky Barnes, Falcon. Oh, sorry if that was a spoiler, if you haven't seen it. So you'll have Falcon.
that Bucky is Winter Soldier.
Yeah, sorry. And then also,
I accidentally spoiled that for someone at some point. I was like, but you didn't know.
It's
yeah, okay,
been,
sorry, I guess.
It's been like a year and a half now. I think at this point it goes beyond spoiler. Anyway,
yeah.
You'll also have other Avengers, and this is like, I don't want to go too deep into this because it's not really an Age of Ultron spoiler, but it talks about it. But you will see just other random characters. You'll see the Vision. You'll see War Machine, Scarlet Witch. You'll see Ant-Man will be in his first Marvel-connected film after his own. It is also going to introduce Black Panther for sure, And then there are going to be a couple of other random characters. And Spider-Man is also supposed to appear in it, although he has not been cast yet. So they haven't really shown any details on him because they don't have the actor to play him yet. It's
So
also going to...
this will be now, if I'm remembering. Sorry, if I'm remembering the timeline right. So Spider-Man will be in this before he gets his own relaunched movie, right?
Yes. A Spider-Man movie is, I want to say 2017, 17 or 18. This will be out
And this
next
will
year.
be next summer, yeah.
hmm and on top of that, you'll have the character, probably, he hasn't been confirmed, but it's going to be Baron Zemo. He's going to be one of the bad guys. Crossbones from the last movie, he'll be back. Martin Freeman is going to appear in some capacity, but they haven't said who. And I wouldn't be surprised if you also saw Nick Fury and maybe a few others. Hawkeye's going to be in there if I didn't mention him.
Now, did
And,
they, having not seen Age of Ultron yet, does the dude become Crossbones in Age of Ultron?
No, he's not in it. He was
Oh, okay.
in Winter Soldier at the very end.
Yeah, he's the Shield agent that Falcon fights,
Yeah,
or
Brock
Hydra.
Rumslow, I think. And then he gets badly burned and messed up, and they pull him away.
Yeah, and they kind of
Spoilers.
confirmed. Yeah, they kind of confirmed, not like came out and said it, but they kind of didn't not say he was Crossbones.
I think they call him Crossbones in the official cast listing. Like they haven't yet, but in the press release they call him Crossbones.
Yeah, they like he was dressed like him and whatnot, so like it was pretty easy to figure that out.
Well, it's also his character is Brock Rumslow. That was the Shield/Hydra character name, which is Crossbones.
Okay.
So they're also going to bring back, if you guys remember the Incredible Hulk movie, the Ed Norton one, the guy that played General Ross, it was played by William Hurt, but it was the character that was hunting down the Hulk.
Right.
He is going to return in this one as well.
So doesn't he eventually become the Red Hulk, if I remember right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to bring that in at some point. I mean, that has to be like 2020, but
I think they're leading towards. This is just a guess, but I think they're leading towards a Thunderbolts movie. If you've seen the Thunderbolts comic, it's kind of like Marvel's answer to Suicide Squad, where it's a team of bad guys, where General Ross was involved, but it was led by Baron Zemo, who's going to be introduced now. Crossbones was at one point in it. Hawkeye was at one point like the good guy liaison, and he was leading it. And then you have all these other Marvel bad guys that could appear as part of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, he does become the Red Hulk in the comics, and he was played. And according to Wikipedia, because I barely remember this movie, he was played by Sam Elliott in the first Hulk movie.
That would require a very strong mustache,
well,
so Sam Elliott would have been a good choice for that.
That's true.
Yeah, I barely remember that Ang Lee movie. So
yeah, you're not alone. All I remember is Hulk sadly rampaging through San Francisco.
very sadly, with bright eyes in the background.
Yeah, Hulk smash, beautiful scenery. So that there's a lot of movie to this. I am excited to see Ant-Man join in, but there's so many characters, and yet I don't know. There are others I'd like to see as well. Like I would love to see Daredevil join in the bigger Marvel universe, and he probably will at some point.
Well, they will. They'll bring in the Defenders eventually, right? That's their plan.
The rumor is that they'll come in Infinity War Part 2, but I don't know. Yeah,
that's several years out.
It's even though they are about to start filming, or no, actually they're going to film like in a year or so. I mean, there's so many moving parts. They haven't even cast the fourth Marvel character on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I keep thinking about this is like this is a multi-year setup, and I get that. So what happens if something happens to someone? or they just like they want out or whatever, you know?
I mean, eventually they're gonna have to start recasting, and like it'll be.
Yeah.
I think probably Robert Downey Jr. will be the first because he's, 50 years old now at this point.
He
Uh,
already doesn't really want to do it anymore.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you throw a lot of money like at someone, it
Yeah.
changes their
Right.
opinion pretty quick. Like he's doing Civil War now, so I mean, who knows?
Yeah, he's getting Nicholson money. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, he's getting part of the profits. So like Avengers,
yeah, that's the Nicholson deal.
yeah,
Jack Nicholson is still getting paid for Batman.
uh,
Wow.
Downey Jr. made something like $50 million on Avengers: Age of Ultron because he took points.
Wow.
That's insane.
So yeah,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
work if you can get it.
Nicholson got something like something obscene for 1989. It was, and I'm not going to pretend I remember the number, but 10 million or something. But also, um, like, yeah, percentage of all revenue, including merchandise.
Yeah, well, for 1989, he probably got like 4 million, and everyone was like, "Wow, it's crazy!" And now they get like 37
Yeah,
million. It's like that's reasonable. Seems legit.
yeah, we're talking about the 80s where Magic got a $1 million contract with the Lakers, and everyone lost their damn mind.
Yeah, Jordan made like 10 million with endorsements, and everyone's like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Whoa.
$1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
meanwhile,
so
meanwhile, LeBron is about to become the second American athlete in history to be a $1 billion athlete.
was the first Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger.
So yeah,
The only other two, or I think Mayweather might be there too, but he doesn't count as an athlete because fuck him.
that's fair. Okay, so yeah, the point is, Captain America is going to be a really, really big movie.
Yeah. Lots of people.
Yeah.
Lots of cameos.
Yeah,
At a
so
certain point, they almost stop being stars. They're just like characters in the movie. You know what I mean?
yep. So I also wonder how many of these are going to be, have more than, hey, look, it's Hawkeye standing there in the background.
Hi, Hawkeye.
So yeah, I mean, I wonder how many are going to be like glorified cameos versus they're actually part of the movie.
Yeah, you see, they call Jeremy Renner for 5 minutes, and then that's it. That's all you see.
Yep.
Like they when they brought in Nimoy
Yeah.
in Star
Right.
Trek 2. He's on the view screen for 30 seconds, and then that's it.
Yeah, and did he spent the rest of the day counting his money?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so moving away from the movies, but staying with superhero stuff. Let me share here. There were a ton of big announcements regarding comic book TV shows. We'll just kind of go down the list. We'll just go through a bunch of these. Arrow is coming back. That's no surprise. Constantine, however, has been canceled. If you've been following it, Constantine, it came out. It tried to be paired with Grimm. It did okay numbers, but not really huge. And NBC decided about halfway through its run not to continue production on the show. So instead of having a full 22 or 24 episode season, it had 13. NBC was not willing to say they had canceled it, though. They wanted to, because it had a good streaming, it had a good following, and it was getting good, just word of mouth. But the numbers, the actual viewership was not all that great. So it has been canceled, but its showrunner, Daniel Cerrone, has said repeatedly that this isn't the end of the show. It's just now they're going to go shop it to other networks. Warner Brothers actually owns the show, not NBC. So they're looking at different options. NBC, even though they did cancel it, they were pretty supportive of it. They could have done better, but they also could have canceled it right away. So everyone is willing and hoping that the show will continue. Maybe Sci-Fi Channel, maybe Hulu, maybe Netflix or something. Did you guys watch Constantine?
Yeah,
Didn't think of that one.
I watched it. I really enjoyed it. So when I heard it was getting canceled, it kind of bummed me out. But I'm glad that Warner is proactive or actively shopping it. I hope it gets picked up by a cable channel or a Netflix or somebody that will give it kind of the not neutered version that it deserves, where he can
Yeah.
smoke and swear and do all of the Constantine type things he is supposed to do.
Apparently, the biggest problem was that it cost a lot of money to make. So if it had been a cheaper show, they would have probably let it run because the numbers were okay, but it was costing a ton of money.
Yeah,
Uh,
with all the magic and occult stuff that goes into that show, like you need
yeah,
lots of effects. So
but Sci-Fi Channel is really good at doing super cheap looking effects. So
yeah,
like
they are.
Sharknado and all that. So I don't know, maybe it would be a good fit.
Ooh, Constantine Sharknado crossover.
Uh, The one of the guys from Arrow, I think the main star, Stephen Amell, said he would love to see a Constantine Arrow crossover, which I think would be a neat idea, but I think it would probably be terrible for both shows. It's a
Yeah, those
weird
don't
pairing for the two.
those don't really go together. But if they end up doing the dark Avengers or dark with the what am I trying to say?
I have no
the
idea. Oh, Justice League Dark.
the Justice League Dark, thank you. Yeah, if they end up pulling that off, that would be super cool.
Yeah, we'll see on that one. So next, moving on. This is one that has been not even rumored. They confirmed a while back that they're doing CW is doing another DC show. It's been labeled as an Arrow Flash spinoff because that's just the only two shows you can say it's a spinoff of. But it's really more than that. It's another DC show on the CW. It has a name finally. It's called Legends of Tomorrow. It has already been ordered directly to series, so they like it enough and they like the property that it's just going to go straight to a full, maybe not a full run, but I think it's been greenlit for at least 13 episodes. Don't quote me on that. And it will star several characters that have already been introduced on the CW universe. Brandon Routh, who will play the Atom. Victor Garber, who is one half of Firestorm, which strangely, and I don't know what the deal is, Firestorm appeared in Flash. It was Victor Garber and, again, Robbie Amell, who were the two characters that become Firestorm. But Robbie Amell is not connected to the show, at least not officially. So I don't know what they're going to do there. The guy that plays Captain Cold is going to be one of the characters. The guy that plays Heatwave is going to be one of the characters. And then the lady Katie Lotz, who played Black Canary, is going to be in it, but we can't really talk about that without spoiling it for both of you what happened to her character in Arrow. So they will also there are also going to be a couple new characters: Rip Hunter, Hawkgirl, and an unnamed character or a new character named Jay Jackson, who will that's probably going to be like a hidden name for a real DC character. So do you guys watch the CW stuff?
No, you're talking about that. I'm not even sure who it is.
Okay, fine. No, you guys should watch the CW, the Flash and the Arrow.
I've
What
I've
is
watched.
CW?
CW Network.
Is it on cable?
Okay, first there's a thing called a TV, right? And when you turn it on, there are these channels.
See, it's funny because I haven't had cable for probably a decade.
Yeah, well, fair enough. You have other means, shall we say?
Get on
but
get on the Hulu.
yeah, CW is it used to be WB channel and UPN, and they combined.
Okay.
So yeah, there's and besides Arrow, at least the first two seasons are on Netflix, and Arrow and Flash are all on Hulu.
Yeah, I watched the first season of Arrow, so I've seen it on there. I just didn't realize that was what it was through.
First
Who
season
knew,
of Arrow
who
was
knew
great.
that the CW?
It was good.
Who knew that the CW was gonna end up being the shit at making DC
Yeah.
shows?
Yeah, I really
Because
like Flash.
Smallville was not great.
No, not at all. I really like Flash. I really like Arrow. I really don't like Gotham. And I watched the whole season of Gotham, and it was just meh.
I am so sorry you put yourself through that.
It was it was the show I'd have on in the background, and it was just kind of like, God, why am I watching
I
this?
tried. Because I love Batman, and I wasn't even mad I wasn't even mad about all the liberties they took with the story and like doing a different version. Like I'm cool with that. It was boring and
Yeah,
not well acted.
yeah, and the stories were trying to be Batman related without being Batman, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work. It was weird. But hey, Gotham is coming back for a second season, so yay.
Yay.
Okay, so since you godless heathens have not watched much of the CW stuff, we'll move on. Flash, you guys should really watch it. It's a great show. Gotham has been
I
renewed.
have seen the first few episodes of both of them. The problem was that we were watching Flash through on demand and not recording it.
Mhm.
Um, and the thing with Comcast on demand is they only stay on there for so long. So
Right.
then we got up to like the episode 4 or whatever and stopped watching for a while, and then the other day went back and tried to rewatch it, and it was like the oldest one on there was like episode 9, so we'd missed a bunch of shit. So it was like,
Uh,
oh,
they're all on Hulu, so you should check them
okay,
out. So,
okay.
moving on, Supergirl is coming to CBS. It is been confirmed it's coming this fall. It has gotten a full, or at least half season order so far, maybe a full season. I don't know. It is definitely going to have more than the pilot, though. There are rumors that it will spin off and it will be connected to Arrow and Flash, but no one. Different people say different things. CBS itself says nope. The showrunners say yes, and CBS owns a portion of CW, so it is possible, but we'll see. So Supergirl is coming, and then moving on. iZombie is another great show on CW. If you haven't started watching it, you need to. It's really, really good. It will come back for a second season. I assume since it is CW, you guys haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Well, moving on then, asshats. So this one is the show I'm probably going to dislike the most, Lucifer, because I really like the comic. It's Lucifer based on the character created in Sandman. He had his own spin-off series where he basically quit hell and then went to. He lived in L.A., but that was for no particular reason, and he would just kind of he had his own plans, and he would just kind of steamroll through other like demons and gods and stuff like that, and do his own thing.
I had no
So
idea that Lucifer had his own spin-off.
yeah,
I
it was really
love
good.
It was pretty cool. I liked it.
I love Sandman. I have the leather-bound Ultimate books. So
Yeah, so it's that character picks up right where he leaves off in Sandman after he quits being the king of hell, and then he goes off and has his own adventures.
that was
Um,
sweet.
but
I'll have to track those down.
this Fox show is going to be terrible. I'll just say that right now. At least I want to give it a try, but let me see if I have the actual quote. I don't think I do. Yeah, okay, so in this, Lucifer will help the LAPD solve crimes and punish the guilty.
So is he
Yeah.
gonna be like teamed up with Ice-T and some of these awesome CSI people then?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea. It sounds like he's going to be.
Lucifer, Lucifer and Stabler.
It's just Lucifer fights crime this week on Fox, and I can see like Lucifer and some detective, they're gonna be like, "We got him, high five, buddy," and they're like, "Yeah, high five."
So it's
And
like
then they'll be
Lucifer gonna take out ISIS?
yeah, but he solves crimes. Like it's a procedural show with the goddamn devil, and it's like,
Wow.
is that the most interesting possible use of this character you can think of? So yeah, this makes me mad.
That just sounds boring.
Yeah, let's move on. It makes me angry. Preacher, this one I'm really excited for. Preacher is one of my all-time favorites. It is. They're filming, or they're about to film the pilot. I don't know if they've actually started filming yet, but they've cast all the major roles. They have the trio of main stars of Jesse Custer. It's going to be Dominic Cooper, Tulip, who is God, I'm blanking on her. Oh, Ruth Negga, who's in Agents of Shield, and a guy named Joe Gilgan, who's a British actor, best known for Misfits, and This Is the End is going to be This Is England is going to be Cassidy. They also have Arseface has been cast, and a few others as well. It does sound a little bit like they are taking liberties, like they have already cast Jesse Custer's mother, who, if you know the comics, she has an important role that comes later, but in this, it sounds like she is actually replacing a kind of a bad guy named Quinn Cannon. So I don't know. It's being run by people that seem to really love the comics, so I'm willing to give it a chance. And it comes to AMC, who is, if nothing else, they make quality stuff. Even if you hate it,
Yeah.
it's quality. So
Yeah, I'm really glad that it's in the hands of AMC. That gives me a lot of hope for it in general. And it's because it's a great series, and I know Ryan and I have been talking for a long time, ever since it was announced, about the casting and who we thought would be good for it. So this is one I'm really looking forward to seeing when it comes out.
yeah, and I really like Dominic Cooper, the actor who's going to be Jesse Custer. I have a tough time seeing him as Jesse Custer, but then again, I think I would have a hard time seeing anybody as Jesse Custer until I actually see them, in the role.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they went with the talented actor. So that's all I can ask for, and then
Yeah.
see how it goes.
I'll be really interested to see who they cast as the Saint of Killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm really interested. They've committed to a pilot, but not the full season. That doesn't mean anything. It's how AMC operates. But they're moving ahead, so we should know more soon.
I always whenever I think of a real life Jesse Custer, I just think of Ryan in your Halloween costume from 2 years ago.
Right. That's how I roll. Okay, yeah, that was one of my favorite Halloween costumes because it took about a minute to put together.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Walking Dead, Fear the Dead. Walking Dead is obviously coming back. It's one of the biggest shows on TV. Its spin-off, which I think is kind of a stupid name, Fear the Walking Dead, is going to be coming soon.
Yeah.
It's already been greenlit for 2 seasons, probably 6 episodes for the first one. That's confirmed. It's going to air this summer. And then the second season will air next year. They haven't announced the number of episodes. They might start filming, or they might wait to see how this season does to see if they're going to give it 6 episodes or more. But
so we can bring in an all-new cast of people for you to care about before they're brutally murdered.
Yep, we kill what you love.
Well, the smart thing about this spin-off, though, is that, kind of with the main show, Rick is the protagonist, so you kind of know that he can't die. But with the spin-off, they can do whatever the hell they want. They can go full Game of Thrones on it if they want to.
Kill off the major characters, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, moving on, you kind of know what to expect with Walking Dead. It's going to be bleak and people are going to die. So,
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, sorry. Moving on. Jessica Jones is filming right now. Not much more to say about that at the moment. It's going to be coming pretty soon.
I think it's fantastic that the bitch in Apartment 23 is Jessica Jones. That just makes me laugh.
Kristen Ritter, yeah. And this will also introduce the character of Luke Cage, who's Mike Colton. I'm excited for that, and I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if Daredevil does not make at least kind of a cameo appearance. Because that way, you have him show up right away, and all the Marvel networks or the Marvel Netflix shows are all connected.
Setting up the Defenders way ahead of time. And
David Tennant, the Doctor himself, will be the bad guy, Kilgrave.
Oh, really?
The Purple Man, yeah.
Yeah, Purple Man.
So that'll be interesting. They're filming that right now. They haven't announced a date. Netflix doesn't really announce until they're ready. I would guess later this year. So we'll see.
I love David Tennant more than I love some members of my family. So I'm really excited to see him play I mean, the Purple Man's a straight up psycho. So it's really interesting it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see Tenet. Now that I just said that, I would love to see Tenet be the Joker someday. I think that'd be amazing.
I think if Marvel wanted to make heads or like just heads explode, have like Matt Smith cast as another Marvel villain, and they team up. Like Matt Smith is the bad guy in Luke Cage, and then yeah, they team up in Defenders, and they're like, "Hey, bro, yeah." And then fanboys everywhere would just be like,
It's too bad. It's too bad Marvel already used nine in Thor 2.
"9." Which one was 9?
The Ninth Doctor. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Christopher Eccleston.
Thank you. Yeah, they already used. They already burned their Eccleston card on on Thor 2.
Yeah, and, although he's still deep in filming, I would watch Peter Capaldi go up against any of the Marvel characters. That'd be
Oh,
great.
that'd be awesome.
Just berating them in his Malcolm Tucker style. Okay, so Jessica Jones is filming Agent Carter. Did you guys watch Agent Carter?
Yeah, I did.
Trevor?
No, sir.
Let's spoil it. Okay, so it was only 8 episodes. It came in. It was they positioned it kind of like a mini series. So it had its own story, a beginning, middle, and end, and it came between the break from Agents of Shield, the mid-season break. I thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed it. They have renewed it for a second season. They have not said if it will be a similar format with like maybe kind of the mini season or the mini series type idea with 8 episodes, or if it's going to be a full season. So, but it is coming back. What else? Agents of Shield is officially greenlit for season 3. No real surprise considering there are spin-offs and other stuff connected to it. Daredevil. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say this is a question, and I've just been meaning to Google it, but maybe you guys know that of all the Inhumans characters that are on Agents of Shield, are any of them based on comic characters, like established comic characters?
Yeah, some of them are. I'm not hugely up on the Inhumans. I know the guy, I forget his name, without eyes. He is
Gordon.
Yeah, he is a comic character, and
Okay.
Sky herself is. I don't know if she is an Inhuman, but she is a comic character as well. Quake.
Oh, she is. Okay. I've
Who's
heard that name before.
She is an agent of Shield in the comics. She is a Shield member, and she has the Quake powers.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And Kyle MacLachlan, he's not an Inhuman either. But he is a comic character. He's Mr. Hyde. He was actually a big Daredevil enemy, which would be kind of a cool crossover.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will eventually.
So yeah, as for the other Inhumans, I would guess many of them are. I admit my ignorance on that. I was never really into the Inhumans as much, although I am excited to see them in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, they haven't introduced that many others. I mean, there's basically Sky, Gordon, Lincoln, the Doctor, who has like an electricity power, and then Reyna, who's the who it appears like her physical appearance is all messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has like another power that she's not great at, but I won't spoil it for the sake of
Trevor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll carry on here. Daredevil's definitely it's been greenlit for the second season. More than that, Netflix. I think we talked about this last week, but Netflix, although it doesn't release its information, it did kind of go over some of its numbers. And Daredevil, I think Daredevil is its most watched show ever, ahead of House of Cards and Orange Is the New Black. So it's huge hit for Netflix. Something like 10 million people watched the first episode, and then their numbers are harder. It's not just that Netflix doesn't want to reveal its numbers, which it doesn't, but also it's kind of hard to track because people watch in different times, and so someone could watch the first 4 episodes and then not watch the rest for 3 months. So it's hard to tell what that. numbers on.
Me.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
I really like it, but I just haven't gotten through all of them yet.
yeah.
I only
So,
just I only just finished watching Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt 2 days ago.
which was amazing. Iron Fist is the last character to cast in the Marvel, or yeah, the Marvel Netflix universe. They have not announced it. There are rumors that it is Ryan Felipe, but that's not really confirmed. Felipe said that he is taking meetings with Marvel over Netflix TV show. So he did confirm that he is talking to Marvel about appearing in the Marvel Netflix universe. He did not say anything about who he was, but he's blonde. Danny Rand is blonde. Done.
Yeah.
Hey, I could be blonde. Maybe
I can
should send
see
him
you
an
as
email.
Iron Fist.
Any of us could be blonde.
If only you had a mask, Trevor. That would make all the difference.
I just don't have the right one today. No, I've been meaning to go back and actually read some of the Iron Fist because I didn't read any of those much growing up, and
I didn't really either.
I've been watching with my 6-year-old some of the Spider-Man Ultimates where he's hanging out with Iron Fist and what is it, Luke Cage and what's that chick's name? White Panther. So been kind of curious to get back into him. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I never really read the Heroes for Hire stuff, which was Iron Fist and Luke Cage, but I don't know. Daredevil gave me enough faith that I'm excited for it. Like I would watch it anyway because it's Marvel and it's a comic thing. Like even if it sucked, I'm committed.
I mean, I never honestly read comics that much at all until I got like in college, really. I read Batman if I read comics, and so I'm kind of like I can't get mad at any of the movies or TV shows or anything because I don't know the characters very well. So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, yeah, go for it.
I will get mad. I will get mad for you.
Good. I rely on you.
Weird experience because I was like Ghost Rider growing up, and then the first movie of Ghost Rider, I was
bastard.
God. Oh my God.
But looking back, getting older, I was like, why did I like Ghost Rider so much when I was younger? There wasn't like a really great story there. So
because
learn.
We grew up in the '90s, and what's cooler than like a Grim Reaper with a flaming head that rode a motorcycle? Like,
yeah, it was visually cool, but I do got to say, with the Preacher coming out, that in college, Ryan, I kind of had gotten out of comic books because, I followed Ghost Rider as younger, and the stories weren't there, so they didn't interest me when I was older. And then you let me borrow that copy of Preacher, and it was like, oh, comics went here now. Okay, I'm back in. I'm on board. Let's do this.
The other, I'm still waiting for. I hope they continue to do the Marvel Netflix stuff and expand it. I think Punisher would make a perfect fit for this because these characters are all part of what was briefly the Marvel Knights line, which was kind of just a separate. It was exactly this. It was kind of this gritty, down to the street level superheroes, fighting crime rather than kicking Galactus in the balls. It was these. Like actual human characters. Some of them had powers, some did not. And Punisher would be a good fit for that too.
Yeah, I seem to remember seeing somewhere that they were rumoring or have confirmed or something that Punisher is in season 2 of Daredevil or will be in season 2 of Daredevil.
I think that's probably just talk at this point. I know that there was a headline. Tom Hardy said he would really like to be Punisher, which I could see.
Tom Hardy is perfect for Punisher.
Yeah, it was literally just him talking to an interviewer. He was kind of expressing. They asked him why he was not in Suicide Squad because he was originally cast as a Flag, but it was just a timing issue. It seemed like, but he said he would love to be a comic character. He's apparently talking to DC right now about being another DC big name character, but he won't say who. And then he said he would love to be Punisher, but I think that's literally like us shooting the shit. You know, I would love to be Punisher.
Yeah. Look, I'd love to be Punisher, so
I am Punisher, sort of like I am Spartacus. So yeah, it would just be like, you know, if any of us were famous, we would, if us saying, you know, I would like to do this, and it's suddenly a headline. I want to be Spider-Man.
yeah, in the same way that Nathan Fillion wanted to be Green Lantern.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
although he did the animated Green Lantern, and he was great at it.
yeah, I would have loved to see him instead of was it Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, I think everybody would have liked to see.
I honestly, Ryan Reynolds, of the guys they were rumoring, Ryan Reynolds was my third choice behind Fillion, and I was actually excited about the idea of Justin Timberlake as Green Lantern.
Yeah, I don't dislike Timberlake after Social Network, which I thought he was great in.
Yeah, I like that he basically played what we all kind of think he might be like.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty
yeah.
funny.
Okay, I got one more here to talk about. Powers, which just finished its first season on the PlayStation Network. It was a 10-episode run. It concluded the first storyline. It has been confirmed to come back for a second season. PlayStation hasn't said anything about the viewership numbers or anything like that, but it was apparently well liked enough that it is coming back. Pretty expensive show too. The rumor was that each episode was between $3 and $4 million,
Good
which puts
God.
it that puts it right on par with something like House of Cards or anything like that. So I mean,
Really?
that's not all that unusual these days. But when you
Wow.
consider that it's a different type of service, PlayStation Network, where you have to either pay for it or you have to be a member of PlayStation Plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weirder monetization for it. So you don't know how it works. But
I I humble brag. I have well, Ryan and I both are friends with the person who is um, the personal assistant to Brian Michael Bendis here in Portland. And so I asked him why they went with PlayStation Network as opposed to someplace else, and he didn't really have an answer for me. So I found it odd that they would put such a big show on PSN. Like it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
my guess is it was originally going to be at FX, and my guess is that one fell apart. And like they had cast it got pretty far into it, and they may have filmed part of the pilot, and then it fell apart.
Mhm.
I would guess PlayStation just outbid them.
Yeah, just a money thing.
Yeah, they just happened to. It was an attractive property, and they were looking for a new original series to boost. Just kind of that would be my guess. It just was a business thing.
Because it's the only show on PSN, right?
Yeah, it's the first original show. It has there's some other shows that are like the GT Academy, which is a reality show, and then I believe this is the first fictional drama on it. So,
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, so my little humble brag, when I saw the Avengers Age of Ultron screening, Bendis was there with Michael Avon Oeming as well as Matt Fraction and a few others, and I was
Oh,
just
sweet.
Hi, Bendis. I just want to rub your head for a while. Been a little weird.
It's really
so-
tempting. He's it's so shiny. You just want to
Yeah,
rub it.
he's adorable. So anyway, Powers, this first season ended. The second season has been greenlit, although the showrunner, a guy named Charlie Houston, he is leaving, and he cited creative differences. So I don't know if that means he wasn't happy with how things turned out this season, or if he was happy and the network was not, or if he had another idea for the second season that the studio didn't. They probably will never completely confirm that, but it is going to have a new showrunner.
Hmm.
And to be honest, I liked this season of Powers. I did not like it as much as I had hoped I would, simply because I loved the comics, and I still do. I'm actually rereading all of them right now. And I don't like... I liked what Powers was about in the comics, that it was just kind of this matter-of-fact world where these detectives are investigating these power things that happen just like any crime, and that's what I loved about it. The series is more, I understand why, but it's more about the drama of the main character having lost his powers and all that. And to me, that was one of the least interesting parts of the comic. I still like this TV show, and my wife Kristen, she liked it a lot, not having read the comics. So maybe it was just my own personal bias, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I obviously, like most comics, I haven't read them, so I'm pretty open to it. So I can just kind of watch it and not have any sort of preconceived notions about it. You did enjoy it though?
I did. I liked it. I think people that haven't seen the comic will probably like it more than those that have read the comic.
That's kind of what I was. That's kind of what I was gathering from it, because I saw mixed reviews, and I think that was kind of my takeaway. I was like, well, I didn't read it, so I'm a little more apt to be.
Yeah, I'd watch the show and read the comics after.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see because you know what you said rang a bell with the way that he did it in the comic book was so secondary that he lost his powers. It kind of came up as like a subject you didn't really talk to him about, but they didn't focus on it at all. It was literally just like right into investigating and going down those alleys. So I'm curious to see what I think about it.
Yeah, it also fundamentally changed the character, where in the comics he became a cop because he was driven to be a good guy. Like he was a superhero, and then he lost his powers, and he was like, what else can I do to help? And so he became a cop, and he never really talked about it. In this, it's totally different, and I get that, and I don't mind that. I just liked the initial idea better. In this one, he is kind of forced to become a cop. He doesn't know what else to do. And that's fine. It's a good idea. I just prefer the comic setup.
So that's kind of a general topic I just want to ask you guys about right now. Like,
and I'm sorry, we're out of time. Thanks for
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked. I can't get.
Well, it's just a general comment, and it's probably maybe a little long-winded for the end, but when they do that, whether it's Game of Thrones and you take a series that you've read the book on and then they deviate from it, I know some people that get really butthurt and it doesn't follow exactly how it worked, or the Lord of the Rings, and they freak out about it. So,
some people.
Where do you guys stand on that? Do you realize and just kind of accept they have to take liberties, or are you kind of like, no, they should stick to how it was originally written?
I think it entirely depends on the results. I mean, for Lord of the Rings, I thought the movies were brilliant. Like, I love them. I love the books too, and I think they stuck fairly close to it. I think the changes were fine. Like, I wasn't bothered by them. Game of Thrones is an even better example. I love the first 3 books. I thought the 4th and 5th book were boring. And I've been watching this new season, and they've already diverted significantly.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think the show right now is much better than the books, but it's hard to say because it's only 4 episodes into the books that I didn't like. So I like what the TV show is doing. I'm glad they're doing their own thing. But I mean, then other times like Powers, I think the original source material was better. So I think it just I think. Yeah, I think you just have to ask why they're changing it. So I don't know.
That's
go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, I kind of fall in the same line of thinking. Especially as many versions of Batman and stuff that have come out. Batman's kind of my pet one that I talk about a lot. But and as we discussed the thing with the Jared Leto Joker, it's like let me see what you do with it. I'm not going to freak out now. And in the end, I don't really freak out about it in general. I don't really get the nerd rage happening too often. It's like, well, that sucked. That's too bad.
Yeah.
But I've never even heard of Game of Thrones until the show was coming, and then I loved it so much. I've deliberately chosen to not read the books now because I just want to be continually surprised by what's happening on the show. So it's yeah. Show me what you're gonna do with it, and I just consider it a new take on the characters or whatever, and a new way to enjoy it. And so it's actually can be really fun for me to discuss the changes, but just like as not complaining about it, but just like it's a fun thing to talk about. I know a couple people at my work watch Walking Dead religiously, and I read most of the comics, at least basically up until where they're at now in the show. And so, it's fun for me to tell them, things that were different in the comics, and they're like, oh, wow, that's weird, and like we can talk about it.
Yeah, so I think it comes down to results. Like iZombie, the comic it goes into these deep philosophical drifts about what it means to be alive and all this stuff. Where the TV show is about a zombie working in a morgue who solves crimes, and that sounds really dumb. Like it sounds like a terrible switch, but it's really good. It's really well written. It's by the guy that did Veronica Mars, so like that. You see that level of dialogue and stuff like that. If it works, it works. And then also like stuff like Batman. There's so many stories and so many changes that I'm fine with Batman, Marvel. Take your own pick of what you want to do. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, iZombie sounds like it's ripe for a Lucifer crossover. Honestly, just throw that one out there.
Yeah.
Lucifer and the zombie work in the same freaking police precinct.
No, I'm totally open to the way that people interpret it for the movies. Obviously, you can't fit it in there. Like Lord of the Rings, I would have loved to see Tom Bombadil. Like he was one of my favorite minor characters. Obviously,
are you freaking serious?
Okay.
But,
no.
Hippie.
Tom Bombadil is exactly why I never finished the freaking books.
Oh, come on now.
I'm serious. I would get to Tom Bombadil every time. It gets so bored. I haven't tried to reread them. Well, okay, maybe I could get through it now, but I haven't tried to reread it in probably a decade.
So you're saying you didn't finish the books?
No. I didn't finish the first one.
See, at the same time, though, The Hobbit, the movies, I think should have stuck more to the books and
I agree.
not gone 3 movies.
Yeah. That I'm like, if you want to bloat it, fine. Just do a freaking 1 3-hour movie. That's great.
So yeah, I think it depends on the changes. But again, like we were talking about Lucifer, I just think you have a really, really cool original idea, and then you make it stupid. By you have this cosmic entity who can do anything, go anywhere, that isn't human and doesn't act human, and now you're gonna have him solve fucking crimes with the LAPD.
Right.
It's like they only have the one idea. It's like so and so solves crimes, and the devil solves crimes, and
maybe it'll be good and well written, but you're already you're tying one hand behind your back with the show because you're instantly making it less interesting than it already was. Like you're downplaying it, you're diluting it.
Yeah, that one is really, I'm really not getting that choice at all.
So, okay, any other last minute things or stuffs or anythings?
No.
And with that,
and a meh for the close.
Yeah, how you like them apples?
Call that a swing and a miss.
Well, we're recording this on Sunday, so happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yep.
Oh, how sweet.
Happy Mother's Day, Trevor.
Thank you.
I don't know why, that just made me laugh.
Made me laugh.
Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. We'll be back probably next week, I would assume. I know we have some people moving here. Me.
Me.
Jesse, right there.
I'm always a mover and a shaker myself.
Trevor will be making moves. He'll be making it rain, and Okay, so we'll be back hopefully next week. We'll be back with a guest. And thanks for watching. If you have any comments, any questions, suggestions, let us know in the comments below. And have a good Mother's Day. What are you doing?
I don't know.
All right,
Entertaining
bye.
myself. Bye, everyone.
Bye.